You're listening to AI PRISM from Seoul Economic Daily.
It's Saturday, May 16. I'd like to share some thoughts about CEOs. When a CEO surveys their empire, they aren't just looking at what they control. They're, scanning for what might suddenly break.
Yeah, exactly. And today we're diving into the source material on how three major Korean companies are confronting, well, wildly different crises of control and vulnerability.
Right. So let's start with the vulnerability side over at Samsung Electronics. Right now, they're staring down a majority union strike set for May 21.
Which is just 6 days from now.
Yeah, exactly. And the core tension there revolves around lifting the 10% operating profit ceiling on the OPI. That's the overall performance incentive.
Right, which is a pretty standard Korean profit-based bonus concept. But removing that ceiling would be a massive shift in how those performance bonuses are calculated.
It really would. But the escalation is what really stands out here in the reporting. I mean, it's a rapid multi-actor intervention.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You had 4 top semiconductor executives, plus Korea's Minister of Labor, rushing straight to the Pyeongtaek campus to mediate.
Yeah, and the industrial minister even publicly floated the idea of an emergency adjustment, which is this rarely used government-mandated cooling-off period.
Right, they rarely pull that lever.
But I have to push back a bit on the panic level here. I mean, don't Korean chipmakers usually operate under essential operations agreements that, prevent a total output loss during these kinds of disputes?
They do, yeah. You're right that the immediate supply shock is manageable. But for the global executives looking at this, they aren't sweating over a 3-week production dip.
Ah, okay. So what's the real threat?
It's the precedent. If the union successfully uncaps those profit-linked bonuses, it institutionalizes a totally new tech compensation structure. It permanently alters the baseline for the entire global industry.
Wow, yeah, that makes sense. Now, if Samsung is highlighting the danger of relying on an external labor force, SK Group's latest move looks like a direct reaction to that exact kind of vulnerability.
Yeah, they are aggressively engineering unpredictability right out of the equation.
Right, they're executing the ultimate full-stack AI strategy. They just crossed a massive milestone for a new combined heat and power plant, or a CHP plant in Yongin.
And the CHP plant is a big deal because it generates electricity and thermal energy simultaneously. So it's roughly 30% more efficient than conventional plants.
Exactly. And it's a 3.3 trillion won investment. So that's about 2.36 billion USD. It's really the ultimate chaebol flex.
Right. And for anyone unfamiliar, a K-ball is a Korean family-controlled conglomerate.
Yeah, and SK is leveraging that massive structure to just control every single vertical. I mean, they dominate energy through SK Innovation, memory chips through SK Hynix, and data centers through SK Telecom.
Because the real bottleneck in the global AI race isn't silicon right now, right?
Yeah,
it's electricity.
Yeah.
By building this power plant, SK ensures their fabs won't be held hostage by national grid limitations.
Yeah. Without guaranteed power, their whole AI construction timeline was at risk. It's like building a self-sustaining fortress.
Right.
They aren't just designing the AI race cars, They own the oil rigs, the refineries, and the racetracks.
That's a great analogy. They're systematically removing any external dependency that could stall their momentum.
But, SK is relying on this immense capital-heavy infrastructure to secure its future. Contrast that with Samyang Foods, and you see a completely different leadership model.
Oh, totally. Samyang proves that global empires can be built on sheer cultural agility rather than just concrete.
Right. Vice Chairman Kim Jeong-su is stepping into the chairman role on June 1st, and she's the architect behind the 2012 creation of Buldak, the fire chicken ramen.
Yeah, and that single product line has driven cumulative sales to nearly 10 billion units globally.
It's insane. The financials show this incredible trajectory. Their 2025 revenue hit 2.3518 trillion won, which is roughly 1.68 billion USD.
And in just the first quarter of 2026, they reached 714.4 billion won.
Right, so about 510 million USD.
Exactly. But the critical data point here is the geographic split. 80% of that revenue is entirely disconnected from their domestic market.
Which is a masterclass in modern brand turnarounds, especially for a company that, skirted bankruptcy in the late 90s.
Right. And what's fascinating isn't just the volume, it's how she achieved it. The extreme spice of Buldak was literally a built-in marketing mechanism.
Oh, right, the social media challenges.
Exactly. It forced global users to broadcast their reactions, and it organically drove that massive international growth.
Yeah, it's so rare to see a founder's family member earn the top spot not through mere inheritance, but by literally saving the company through pure product innovation.
It really is. And it leaves you with a compelling strategic question as a listener. As you map out future market dominance, does your strategy require the massive, capital-intensive walled gardens of an SK Group or, the agile, culturally viral engineering of a Samyang?
That's today's AI PRISM CEOs. This episode was produced with AI assistance based on Seoul Economic Daily reporting and reviewed by a human editor. AI PRISM is a IFRA award-winning series. We'll be back tomorrow.
You've been listening to AI PRISM from Seoul Economic Daily.